I'm Jamie Flanagan, and this is People Over Politics. Looking ahead to the elections coming up in 2026, it's never too early to get started thinking about what's important to the people in the cities around Michigan, what's important to Michigan. People Over Politics podcast, and we want to talk to Ren Nushaj. Ren, thanks for taking a minute to sit down.
Thank you so much for having me. It's just such a pleasure and privilege to be here.
So, Ren, it's Michigan, right? And
Yes.
we want to know about what you're going to do for Michigan, your plan, what
Absolutely.
you want, your dreams, your hopes. But before we get to that, I want to know about you.
Thank you.
So tell me about your childhood. Tell me. So are you a Michigan guy?
Yes.
What's your background?
Well,
Where you at?
I am a Michigan in every meaning of the word, of course.
All right,
I'll tell
I'm
you
a
why.
Wolverine. I'm a Wolverine.
I have to, because here's
Go
why.
Blue.
My wife is a professor at the University of Michigan.
Nice.
If I were to say anything else, if for a second I uttered words to the contrary, I'd have to find another home, and we're not about to do that. Elections are coming, okay?
Yeah. All right, so I did my undergrad at U of M.
Yes.
I got my master's at Wayne State, and then my journalism endorsements at Michigan State. So
that's-
I got a lot of sweatshirts at home.
Yes. But
So
yeah.
I spread the love
Sure.
around. So you have some affinity for U of M and Michigan in general.
Absolutely.
But are you a native to Michigan?
I'm no, yeah. So I went to Wayne, to give you the
Warriors.
the series.
Yeah.
Wayne State University.
Right on, love it.
Warriors at the time, they weren't Warriors, of course. Right?
Yes,
They were
Tartans.
Tartars. They
whatever
changed
we
them a couple of times
yeah.
before they went to Warriors.
Yeah.
And so I did Wayne State for undergrad, Wayne State for law school.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then I finished my high school in Charleston, in South Carolina.
Okay.
So, and then been here ever since, obviously.
What is your political career? What's you're serving in the city of Clawson now?
Well, I am. Yeah, I am the city attorney for the city of Clawson. I do a lot more than that. Obviously, I have a private practice that takes me everywhere and anywhere and everywhere. But with respect to Clawson, I'm the city attorney and the prosecutor for them. So I do a lot of work for Clawson. Love Clawson.
Yeah. I love this region. I grew up in Detroit proper. My wife and I both, 7 Gratiot, 7 Van Dyke. We're Detroit kids from the get-go. But we live in Oakland County now. We never, you'd talk to us in our 20s and we're like, we're never living out that ways. But, now we do. In the oldest house in the city, but we love Oakland County.
Yes.
And we love Macomb County. Before we moved to Oakland County, we both had houses in Macomb. So
you've lived my life. I've done the same exact thing.
We love this region. So what exactly, what seat are you running for?
Sure.
What district and what seat?
Very good. So this is Senate District 9,
Mhm.
and it encompasses a few cities. It's Troy, Rochester Hills, and a portion of Oakland Township. And then on the Macomb side, up until from DeQuinder to Van Dyke and Sterling Heights, up to Utica, it goes up and basically meets with Oakland Township up going north. It's a lovely district. It's my community. I've lived here all my life. Right. My folks live in Sterling Heights. Right. I lived in Sterling Heights myself. I came of age in Sterling Heights. And then, of course, in my adult life, I've gone back and forth between Sterling and Troy. I do all my shopping in Rochester Hills. Obviously, I'm right on the border with Rochester Hills. So all our go-to places are in Rochester Hills. So this is our community. This is the seat I'm running for. And I think we're going to do a lot of good for this community, for this district.
So running for this Senate seat, right? Because the Senate, they're very responsible for the laws that rule the country. How important do you think your law background is going to be for what you're doing? Hopefully, you'll be doing.
Absolutely.
If you get elected.
Yeah, I think it's critical, and I think that's one of the shortcomings that we have in the Senate currently, and largely in our legislature overall. I think more attorneys are needed. It's called legislature for a good reason, right? It starts with legis, meaning law in Latin. So to have a background as an attorney, it means that at the very least, we won't make some of those silly mistakes that perhaps in the recent past we've been making, and certainly the current occupant of the seat has been making. And I'll give you an example. If you recall, if you know, we have a ballot initiative, a portion to our Constitution, which gives all the people of Michigan the ability to put forth ideas with respect to how they'd like to change the law, right? And we vote on them, and they become law. Well, some years ago, the Senate and the legislature overall took this position of, well, we're going to adopt and then amend. So they, by law, by the Constitution, they had to adopt any ballot initiative that the people of the state of Michigan voted for. But then they would go around and they say, well, we adopted it, but now we're going to amend it in certain ways. And for any attorney, for myself, for any other attorney, that would be, we're all screaming bloody murder, right? That makes no sense. It doesn't make sense constitutionally. It doesn't make sense. And it's basic information that any attorney would possess. Apparently, it was basic information that was elusive to everyone serving in the Senate, and certainly the current occupant of Senate District 9. This is just one of the ways, I think, that to have someone of a legal background, someone like myself who has worked in a municipal setting and has done literally the crafting of ordinances, the crafting of laws for a city, right, for a community, to now take it as just the tiniest little stretch to take it and go to the state legislature and do the same thing there, and to say, well, some things make sense, legally speaking, and some don't. I think this is one of the main ways that it will help both my community, our community, as well as the legislature and the people of the state of Michigan as a whole, to be able to not make those silly mistakes that unfortunately we've been making so far.
Money makes the world go round.
Yes.
Right. So we're going to get the, enacting laws and setting things up.
Absolutely.
But you got to fund these things.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and the country's in flux.
Yes.
And everybody's like, oh, the sky is falling. On a federal level at the top of the pops, they're only in there for 4 years. So,
Yes.
All right. So things ebb and flow. But right now, federal funding is in question.
Sure.
How's that going to impact the state? How do you plan for something like that? State funding with or without federal funding, and to what do you see happening as far as federal funding and making things happen in Michigan and in Oakland County?
Absolutely.
With the money.
Yeah, it goes without saying that this is going to be an issue going forward, and it's going to be an issue that the current senator and the incoming senator in 2026. This race obviously will take place in 2026. August will be the primary, and then the general election will be in November. But it will be an issue, and you're absolutely right to call it out. And how do we solve it? Well, there's ideas out there, and people are basically attempting to give their own definition to the solution. And I'll tell you one that I heard, and then I'll tell you the one that I espouse, okay? Just a few days ago, Sharon McDonald, our state representative in the city of Troy, in my district, one of the cities in the district, as well as State Senator Stephanie Ching, Senator Mallory McMorrow from Royal Oak, State Rep Natalie Price, they all got together and they were having a town hall to address all these obviously supremely valid concerns that all of us have with respect to funding and how this is going to play out for the state and for our community. And, there's a lot of ideas. The ideas, I think, all center around the notion of, ultimately, break down and center around the notion of how are we going to fund the things that now we're going to be deprived from the federal government. And the answer, in many ways, was the following. Well, we're going to have to prioritize. We're going to have to prioritize to be able to say what is truly important and what is perhaps secondary in nature and where we should perhaps take away. And that analysis followed, right, from all of them. And it's a valid analysis, and analysis from individuals who are steeped in obviously both the leadership and the politics of the question. I come from a slightly different and maybe more optimistic, but a slightly different perspective. I think we have to fight with respect to funding. We have to fight to keep it. And perhaps that comes from the fact, from my background. As an attorney, I get to, I quarrel every day. That's all I do. I'm engaged in litigation all day, every day, and it does not necessarily faze me. And that's not to say that I'm negative about it, but it doesn't faze me. And I think you have to fight for the things you believe in.
Passion,
absolutely. And I think if we want nice things, good things, and not because we're this is the first world and we want nice things, but because we deserve them, because our taxes pay for them. These are the funds that the federal government has now decided to keep for itself, are our taxpayer dollars at work, right? We have to fight for them. We have to engage in litigation, as attorneys are throughout the country. But the state Senate and the legislature as a whole has a unique responsibility in that regard, not just to simply say, well, this funding is drying up and we're just going to take away nice things from you, but rather to come up with solutions that say, we're going to fight for that funding because we deserve it. It's our taxpayer dollars, and we should keep it, retain it, and utilize it for the benefit of our people. I think that's the perspective that I come from based on my background.
Do states have powers to
Absolutely
fight
Absolutely.
the federal government for
Of
things
course.
that should be coming our way?
More so than powers, they have an obligation.
Yes.
Right. At the end of the day, people like myself, in order to get elected, at one point or another, they meet with someone like you, with members of our community, and what do they say? I understand what the issues are in the community, right? I can name the problems because I'm one of you. And then what do they follow up with? And by the way, if you vote for me, I will resolve those issues on your behalf. I will fight for you. Good. I believe in that too. That means that if you say that, and if you ask for the vote, you have to follow up. Everybody can identify the issues. The question is, what are you going to do? And what in your background informs us to know that what you bring to the table will be solutions to the problems that we can all name, right? And our politicians, it's easy enough to throw down on politicians. Perhaps it's a favorite national sport, right?
Yeah.
But for good reason.
Yeah.
I think because for the most part, they let us down. And they let us down because these are important problems, complex problems, and we attempt at all too often in the political stage to give quick and simple solutions to what are otherwise complex problems. And I am of the opinion that we perhaps shouldn't. We should slow down and just simply fight for the things that we need and we deserve, frankly.
So it's complex problems because we're living in a very complex world.
Absolutely.
And there were simpler times. I think we are. It's the struggles for kids and challenges in education and challenges for people trying to live in this country one way or another. It's a very complex world we're living in. Where do you see Michigan right now? How would you describe where Michigan is right now? And then be ready for the follow-up.
Yes.
Where are we going? So, but where is Michigan right now?
No, it is interesting. Michigan, we're lucky. We're fortunate. We have a beautiful state. We have amazing people, all 10 million of us. We're lucky, and we should count our lucky stars day in and day out, right? A few places around the country, around the world that you can come across and have the experiences that we have day in and day out. And we have to protect that. We have to do much better than we've been doing of late. There's a lot of issues at the same time, of course. And the issues are manifold, and I couldn't agree more with you. The problems that we face are complex, and by definition, the solutions that we have to provide to these problems are complex as well. But, they're man-made problems, and we can fix them at the same time.
All right.
This is not rocket science. And at the end of the day, I am of the opinion that, and this was going to feel as if it's a word from like the 80s, but it remains true that the economy continues to be a concern and an issue for the country, but also for Michigan and our community. And I think focusing on economy, and the way I think of it is the issues of the economy, every generation, every day, every year, they raise their head and various aspects come to fruition, come to the fore, and display themselves. And I think when I think of the current moment that we're in Michigan and beyond, I think in terms of affordability. For too long, but now in particular, right, things have become less and less affordable by all strata of society in this great state of ours. I don't care whether you're just downright poor. I don't care if you're middle class. I don't care if you're upper middle class. You are currently struggling. Your dollars are not stretching the way that they should. They haven't. And to talk about the complexity to it, it's not because employers are simply not paying as much as they should, which is, of course, there's an issue there. But above and beyond that, and I'll bring it to the state Senate seat, above and beyond that, the Senate and the legislature in this great state, some time ago, they decided that they were no longer going to do revenue sharing the way that they should have. Municipalities, for the sheer joy of us parking our homes in the cities that we live in, collect thousands of dollars from us every year, right? And then they take those dollars and they usually give them to the state, which then distributes it. Well, the state some time ago decided that the distribution wasn't going to, it was a little too much of a hassle. They wanted to keep more and give less. And what happens? As a result, for the last 20, 30 years, our dollars, our taxpayer dollars, have been buying less and less, and the state has been keeping more and more. And so now the services that the municipalities, the cities that we live in, were providing up until yesterday, they're no longer providing, right? And it shows itself in every aspect of it, right? If you want a library now, God forbid, well, we have to raise your taxes. You have to have a ballot initiative. And that's true in like 3 or 4 of the communities that I mentioned in this district.
And the libraries are important. Every time
Absolutely.
it comes up on I'm voting for it.
Absolutely.
Because, I'm a teacher. I teach
Sure.
high school,
Sure.
and but I'm an entrepreneur.
Sure.
I paid my way through college, with a DJ company, and I still DJ available for but but I'm an entrepreneur, and I have a podcast studio.
Absolutely.
And I help people launch podcasts, and I coach people doing things like that, and just have that entrepreneurial spirit. These things are important to me.
Absolutely.
And getting the funding for the education, on the local level
Absolutely.
and the state level and the federal level, it's all got to work congruently.
Yes.
And then there's the whole thing, Ren, I mentioned, it's a complex political climate we're living in, right? And then there's all this across the aisle, but then there's across federal to state, and then there's cross from state to local. You have a unique perspective because you have experience with the local.
Yes.
And you want to move into the state.
Yes.
So what, coming in from that, what are you going to bring to the state coming from being involved in local politics? What are you going to bring for that?
Absolutely. Well, at the end of that's such an astute way of looking at it, and it is congruent, and we are obviously living in an interdependent, interconnected society at all levels, certainly when it comes to the local, the state, and the federal. And first of all, as a matter of background, I bring experiences that are broad but yet deep. For example, among others, many moons ago, I started my first internship was in Washington, D.C., interning for Senator Carl Levin, right? And so it gives you an appreciation for all manner of legislation and issues and topics and how they're addressed at various levels. But to get to your question, I think the experience that one brings working with the city, with the municipalities, as I do, day in and day out, is important and interesting, because at the end of the day, we live in the cities, and it's the local government is the closest to all our citizens, to all our members of our community, and it's the bread and butter issues, and there's no tint of red versus blue versus whatever. It's all about taking care of the needs of those nearest to you. And if you don't, mind you, they're so close, they'll come tell you that you're not taking care of those needs. And I think I love that about our municipalities. I think that understanding, that background, that experience that I have day in and day out is going to work wonders. And I'll give you the specific, and this may be a minor issue, but it is an important issue. In the local setting, in our cities, if you ever have a question about anything, how government is being run by your elected representatives, all you have to do is send in the Freedom of Information Act request, and you will have the information right away in your, within 5 days, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that does not exist at the state level. It is absurd that we should be two adults talking about this today in 2025. And our government at the state level is a mystery to the two of us, people who are actually interested. That's not how, and might I remind us, last year or the year before, no, it was last year. Last year, the Nobel Prize in Economics went to a couple of people that said, democratic actions, right, in any setting lead to superb economic outcomes. And the alternative is true as well. And democracy has to be in the daylight. We have to know what's happening. That's the basis of democracy. The alternative is true as well. If you want government to operate in the dark, you are not going to have superb economic outcomes. And I think that's the easiest thing. And if you're ever asked, what is the one thing that you're going to do day one, right? And there's going to be the important things, which is focusing on the economy, but there's going to be also the easy thing, which is focus on the Freedom of Information Act. Make sure that the government of the people of this great state is and remains democratic, and everything is happening in openness.
I just, and that's the other thing. It's like, red, blue, Democrat, Republican. I hired you. I voted for you and gave you a job. get the job done.
Yes.
That's my
I
thing.
couldn't agree more.
Get the job done.
Yeah.
And that's my hope for politicians is like, just get the job done. We're going to talk more.
Sure.
And we're going to do a little rapid fire thing here.
Yes.
And these are some topics we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to have more conversations.
Absolutely.
You're not off the hot seat yet, but right now, all right. So green, red light, green light, yellow light.
Yes.
Green, you think we're on the right track. Yellow, not our highest priority issue.
Yes.
Not our highest priority issue. And we're going to do good work here. Red, this is an issue that needs to be addressed immediately,
yes.
right? So education, green, yellow, red.
Ooh, yellow.
And again, it's so...
There's explanations to be had. But,
are you talking Wayne County? You talking Oakland County? You talking the state as a whole? It's tough, but we're talking Michigan. So you're going to be a Michigan representative.
Sure.
So Michigan, education, green, yellow, red.
Yellow. I think it requires, the budget that the governor and the Senate proposed, the Democratic-run Senate proposed, would increase funding to about $10,000 per student, right? And it's in many ways it's historic and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it will not happen for so long as the state house hasn't even taken up the issue of the budget, right? And they're beyond all their timelines.
Yeah.
And that's why I would say if we had adopted it the way that we should have and on time, I would have given it a solid green. At least we're in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction.
We're going to go,
sure.
All right, fix the dang roads, right? Infrastructure, green, yellow, red.
Red.
All right.
Absolutely. Even though we're doing a lot. Red.
And infrastructure is not just the dang roads.
Not just the roads. On
but
the contrary.
There's a lot. I mean, water.
Everything underneath that road.
And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I come from a community that is in the red by hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's not of its own doing, and yet they're being asked to fix the issues on their own. And that's
air traffic, because we got them flying cars coming right around the corner. It's,
yes.
Where's my flying car?
Right.
Where's that flying
airplanes
car?
with doors that fall off the sky? I mean,
electric flying cars.
Yes.
All right. Healthcare in Michigan as a whole, green, yellow, red.
Red.
All right. Healthcare is going to need some attention. We're going to get that. That's going to be a whole 20 minutes. Local economies. And so local economy for your district.
Yes.
And then how is the local economy in your District 9? And then what do you think local economies across the country, across the state?
Yellow with respect to the district, I think. Obviously, it's Oakland County for the most part, and a portion of Macomb County. Okay. And these are, and they can vary in economic outcomes specifically, but nonetheless, there's a lot of good happening. But at the same time, there's just a lot of need for focused attention on the needs of the members of our community, on the needs of our cities, and the needs of all the organizations that serve our community. And that's why I think, I vacillate between yellow and red, but yellow.
Yeah.
Give it a solid yellow.
It makes it crazy that, people, they want you to have your own retirement. They want you to do your own funding. Sure. And they make it more difficult for entrepreneurs to entrepreneur.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I think that is a simple and honest
as an attorney,
truth.
It's your own practice.
Absolutely,
you're an entrepreneur.
Absolutely,
I mean, you're a fancy pants lawyer entrepreneur, but you're an entrepreneur.
One tries, yes, yeah, no, absolutely. But I think that's a simple truth. And the shortcomings of government affect all of us. At every level of government, every strata of government, the shortcomings affect all of us. And I believe the government should be a force for good and is meant to help the lives of all of us. And I also, and to further that statement, I would say that I think that if someone believes the antithesis, the government shouldn't exist, should be smaller, right? These notions that we have out there, we should have smaller government. And I believe that's a disqualifying thought for this reason and this reason alone. Well, for this analysis alone, which is we're a superpower, right? We're a superpower. We're a sole superpower. We have 800 bases around the country. We're the greatest economy known to mankind. Yeah. And we have people telling us that we should have small government. No, we should have appropriately sized government with no bureaucracy that lives and breathes every day to help the people of the great state of Michigan and beyond. And these people who serve in government, they're not beamed out from outer space. Yeah. They're Americans like you and I, bleeding red, white, and blue every day.
Really? Okay. Man, all right.
Someday.
I give you that. Yellow, green, red, public safety.
We're green there, and we need to do better. But again, it changes by community. But
What
in our
about-
community, absolutely.
What about our veterans?
I fear we're sliding into red.
Yeah.
Yellow, solid yellow, sliding into red. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to do a lot more. I mean, and these
People have given so much.
everything, ready to give their, the last ounce of blood.
In a wartime, in war is so obtuse now. I mean, I think we've been at war since Vietnam has ended.
Absolutely.
Between Cold War and this, that, one, that. I don't think we've been really genuinely out of war since. So all veterans I believe, are war veterans.
Well, absolutely, and I think they require, they deserve and require our absolute attention to every detail of their lives and their needs.
That'll be a whole thing. And again, these are some topics we're going to get into.
Absolutely.
Because all of these things need attention or fostering if they fell into the green right now. All right, here we go. A couple of fun ones here. What's your favorite Michigan vacation spot?
I have to go with Saugatuck, Michigan. Traverse City is the go-to place.
Yeah.
And
are you a hotel guy? Are you a camping guy?
So in Saugatuck, in Traverse City, no, we do. We've done both over the years, and now I'm 45.
Yeah,
I'm sliding into the hotel.
You're a baby.
I'm sliding into hotels a lot
Traverse,
more.
Saugatuck count?
Yeah,
That's
Saugatuck. Love that area. Love everything about it. Traverse City, love it. I mean, we have good friends over there that we go and we camp. We do the whole thing.
I'm gonna go sleep on the ground at Interlaken in about 2 or 3 weeks. There's a state camp in Interlaken. It's amazing. That's my favorite spot.
So the state camp in Saugatuck. So there's a couple of beaches there, but like Oval Beach, it's idyllic.
Yeah.
Oval Beach, Bekatawa, that area. It's just there's it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We're fortunate. Yeah. Actually, I should change my answer just so that less people go there as opposed to more.
Right. All right, your favorite flavor of Better Made potato chips?
I am about as vanilla as they come.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, but I'm also like and hopefully your camera does not add those.
Yeah. How many cameras are on me?
Yeah, precisely, because it's not like I would ever say no to any flavor. And they have that barbecue one, but we're not.
There you go. I'm barbecue, but in the summertime. The salt and vinegar ones.
Yes.
That's my wife. I got those in Canada.
No.
I was getting those in Canada, and that got me hooked on it. Anyway, all right. So, can Vernors? Last question.
Yes.
Can Vernors be used as a medical remedy?
Absolutely. Anybody that says the contrary should, we should file charges on that. Tar and feather and whatever.
Love it. All right, Ren. People over politics. We're gonna keep on this. We're gonna talk to you some more. We're going to dive deeper into education and healthcare and our veterans. We're going to talk more about those topics because I think each one of those deserves a little deeper focus each time. But thanks for spending some time. People want to know about you, your platforms, your campaigns.
Sure.
Is there a one-stop shop on the interweb someplace?
Yes, ren4misenate.com. And then, of course, we're on all social media. We're going to be on Facebook, Instagram, the whole nine.
So spell the name so people can find it. Spell
Ren, Ren, 4 misenate.com.
Okay. So put that in the Google machine and find that. Ren, thank you.
Thank you so much. It was just such a pleasure again. Thank you.